There we go. The secrets of Mr. Beast's biggest critic, Dogpack404. The secrets. I wanna know the secrets.
A lot of news has come out against Mr. Beast recently with the drop of Dogpack404's latest video, but so has a lot of criticism towards Dogpack himself.
I think that's lies. I think it's just like there's so many paid actors by Mr. Beast that try to discredit Dogpack404, because even like I haven't even watched this video yet, but even if you think about that, even if there is some shady stuff going on, that Mr. Beast, there's so much obvious stuff that he has done and said that you can't make this up. You can't make this up. Like we saw last time, you know, Mr. Beast calling a woman inferior, shit like that. You can't make this up. That's what he said. Also, most of the stuff that Dogpack has shown is like linked to like some official stuff and web pages and so on, you know, so on. At the end of the day, when all of this is over, Mr. Beast is still going to have millions of subscribers and money. That's true. Nothing's gonna change for Mr. Beast in the grand scheme of things. Maybe he can't make content no more, but you know, I don't know. Right now, he seems to be doing fine despite all of this. He's gaining more subscribers every day, still, so.
Since my last video, the entire cease and desist that was sent to Dogpack in July was finally revealed by Daily Mail. There's also entire sections dedicated to digging up old posts on Dogpack404's alternate Reddit account, where he expressed all sorts of different criticisms from Mr. Beast before he even worked there.
That's interesting, but like if you lose your job for some reason, then I think it makes sense, like if it happens without you understanding why it happened, that you want to get your job back. I mean, that's kind of valid. I don't see anything wrong with that. Obviously, usually like 99% of the time you're not gonna get your job back, I guess. At least not in Europe. When you're gone, you're gone. It's not like you're fired, you're hired on the spot like that. It doesn't work here that way. But I don't know how it works in the States, but you know.
So we've got a lot to go over. Grab a snack, lock in, big drama update, let's get started. So the thread starts off with Cope and Seed saying, so the Daily Mail released an article on the Mr. Beast stuff a few days ago, where they included the full CD and named Dogpack404. And as we were thinking of having a look at him anyway, here's a thread and a video. Enjoy.
I wonder where the Daily Mail got the cease and desist letter. Who gave them the full access to this whole document?
Mr. Beast hires $2,000 an hour super lawyer who exonerated Alec Baldwin in Rust shooting trial as employee who quit after 3 weeks brands YouTuber a sociopath.
That's very bold. That's a super bold claim. Imagine you hire a 2K an hour super lawyer just to get rid of those allegations and this sociopath. You know, imagine just like all the money that you have to spend 2K an hour. That's a lot of money, you know. But I mean, Mr. Beast has money and he's giving it away apparently. He has the money to spend.
This firm, Quinn, and I'm not going to even attempt to butcher that name, has recently been retained by Mr. Beast YouTube LLC and its founder Jimmy Donaldson regarding the unsettling news that you have embarked on a campaign to disparage Mr. Beast as a company and defame Jimmy Donaldson as an individual.
Imagine all that is just unsettling news, how formal this can be.
Absent your immediate compliance with the demands specified herein, Mr. Beast and Jimmy Donaldson are prepared to take the necessary legal steps to protect their reputation and business.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he does that. He already does that, you know, by deleting all the comments and just making videos as it is, not responding, kind of ignoring this whole situation. And so far, I think Mr. Beast is doing a good job because even if you look at the Dogpack's latest video, then it only has like 3 million views compared to the other videos that have like 11, 12, like I think it was 12 or 14 million views per video. And the last one only got like 3 million views right now. For some reason, this whole situation has been dragged out for so long that it's just losing the momentum. And all the YouTubers like out there are milking this situation less and less, except for me. I'm still here. I'm still at it. But yeah, even my videos seem to have the same kind of decline. So it's like 4 times less, exactly like Dogpack. So I think YouTube is showing that stuff less, and also there's less interest in this whole situation. Also because the first video was the best one. It was the most information packed, and it was just slaying this shit with all those clips of videos and all that. And the second one with the Jake Bedler one, that was like already more mediocre. It wasn't that like crazy because the situation was crazy and the story was crazy. But the content itself was, well, an interview, a podcast. That's not that interesting to watch. Can't wait for Dogpack to release some new stuff, new videos. For some reason, this brand protection for Mr. Beast has been very, very successful.
We reserve all rights to pursue money damages to rectify any and all harm you may have caused.
Imagine trying, like, I don't think this guy is very, like, super rich or something like that, a Dogpack, I mean. So if you would try to claim the damages that you made, that you do to Mr. Beast, the millions you made him lose, or maybe gained, I don't know. I wonder if Mr. Beast actually gained popularity with all this shit or not. A bit of both. Yeah, for sure. So anyways, I don't think this guy is so rich to repay the damages. Would be in depth for his life.
Social media restriction. Employee shall not post anything on social media about the company, Jimmy Donaldson, or the employee's employment with the company.
I mean, that's an interesting clause because, well, it may have some weight to it. And Dogpack's video was basically just like open source, you know what I mean? All the clips, all the details were basically public information. So he was very careful when he was saying whatever he was saying. So nice try.
In one video, you even held up your NDA agreement with Mr. Beast while willfully violating its terms by discussing Mr. Beast and publicly posting the video on YouTube.
That's a pretty ballsy move though. But he didn't actually show any important information regarding the NDA. You can show the legal document if you want, as long as it doesn't have any important information on it. I can show you my basically whatever paper I have, my contracts and shit like that. As long as it doesn't have any public information, like private information, it's good to go. When you're posting your like certificates when you graduate from universities and shit like that, they usually have like serial code. So when you have that kind of stuff, don't show that. But it's when you just show the agreement, it doesn't. That's not a violation if it doesn't specify anything.
You have no understanding of the inner workings of Mr. Beast, given that you only spent 3 weeks at the company on a trial basis before you were fired for conduct even you have characterized as inappropriate.
I mean, you don't have to be somewhere for a very long time to understand and see when something's very, very off. You know what I mean? Like in the previous part when we saw those people who worked for Mr. Beast and they're like essayed and stuff like that, you know, you don't have to be there for very long before you know this place is rotten, you know. I mean, this document is obviously written by lawyers, and it is it meant to be scary in a way. And basically, if you read all this, then it is meant to be like that. It's just gonna scare you away. So I can understand why they're referring to that. And if you stretch it very, 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 very far, then it also makes a little bit sense as well, right? But you can't argue with that.
You did not make it to the end of your 90-day trial period without repeatedly ignoring your supervisor and then attempting to secretly spend company resources on something you described as a, quote, toy.
I don't know what to think about that. This is very interesting, but how can you like spend company funds? It is very difficult for an employee to spend company funds, so that doesn't make too much sense to me, because a company has a bank account and credit card and stuff like that. So why will someone during their probation have access to the card if they're not supposed to have access to it? And a toy can be anything you can imagine, and it can be a new, I don't know. I don't remember what Dogpack did. Was it like editing or shit like that? But there's so many gadgets that toys you can, like a camera, whatever you need, can be referred as a toy, you know. He must have been given something to be able to do it, maybe. Yeah, exactly. He must have been given like either card or cash or something like that.
On your last day at Mr. Beast in April, the day you were fired, you pleaded for your job back, insisting Mr. Beast was a place you wanted to work.
I mean, this is, like I said before, having this happen to you can be a shock. So you're just like in a panic mode. And even if you didn't like the work there or there were some issues and stuff like that, then you may still like have this reaction where you just plead for your job back because your livelihood is going to be seriously affected. So this is like a very... I can see what... I can understand why it's here. But you know what it is.
You asked for a second chance for your trial period, and you asked to later reapply to the company.
Yeah, this is the same thing. But it's interesting, like, how this all, like, unfolded. So he got fired, and then he wanted his job back, and then he was like, alright, screw that. Now I'm gonna fight against this shit.
Unlike the narratives you spun to cast yourself as the victim when being terminated for conduct that at a minimum demonstrates a lack of judgment, your communicated desire to be a part of Mr. Beast remained unchanged over the course of that nearly hour-long meeting.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else that... I think that's just a shock reaction of being let go. And all, like, obviously working for Mr. Beast is a very huge point for your CV and for your, like, overall career. So when you can showcase that you would be working there for like a nice period of time, you can probably get a job anywhere that's doing any YouTube or like social media creation. So I can understand why he wanted to be in that company regardless. So that makes sense. And also being let go randomly, obviously you're gonna lose out a lot of money. Getting a new job is gonna take time and so on, so on. So I mean, that makes like fully sense to want to get your job back.
It is because the information you were exposed to during your trial period at Mr. Beast confirmed that it is a great company and a great place to work.
Yeah, no.
Social media.
No, that doesn't demonstrate that at all. Like I said, that doesn't demonstrate that at all. It could be the worst place ever, but maybe just need the job. There's so many workplaces out there and so many shitty jobs that people just do just because they need this survival, you know, the money for survival basically. So maybe there's no other jobs nearby and so on. There are many reasons why people work at bad companies, you know.
Any information regarding Jimmy Donaldson and any Mr. Beast related content or any content captured on Mr. Beast sets, premises, locations used by Mr. Beast, the employer's methods, policies, procedures, techniques, research or development projects.
This is very interesting because you can't share disclose any of the information regarding the sets and shit like that. Interesting. So does this mean that what he did say was true about like Jimmy having this gigantic yacht basically just there to chill at when they were doing the 7-day survival videos? Interesting. Does that mean that it was true? Well, it's pretty obvious that it's true, but not entirely, but still pretty obvious. It seems like lots of Mr. Beast content seems pretty fake to me. Now that I suspect that it may be fake, I've been looking them in with this like different kind of view or angle, so I can see it's shady, you know. But does this confirm that now?
Though often misguided and ill-informed due to your brief and limited employment at Mr. Beast, you have been posting on Twitter, YouTube, and Reddit about Mr. Beast's video production methods.
He said that the production methods are like CGI and this shit is fake. Is that like kind of confirming that? Or can't you say anything about that? Obviously it can mean that he just said anything about that and that's a big no-no. You can't say if it's either good or bad. But obviously when you would say, yeah, it's all legal, it's all nice, it's all 100% true and real, then no one will send them the cease and desist letter. But now that you said that, hey, this shit is like fake AF, now it's a problem. So does this shit confirm that? The only thing that I can give to this cease and desist letter is like, I don't know how legit the handbook for like the no means no and all that kind of shit like that.
It should be apparent from this letter that Mr. Beast takes your unlawful conduct seriously and is committed to getting to the bottom of each and every violation of your agreements during your brief trial period with Mr. Beast and subsequent to your departure.
The way this works is pretty funny with this writing. Mr. Beast demands. It's no longer Jimmy or the Mr. Beast Corporation or LLC. It's Mr. Beast demands. Like, it's like pretty funny to me. Is it like the company Mr. Beast or Jimmy? That's what's confusing to me. It's the same thing, but you know what I mean. Why write it like that?
Mr. Beast is prepared to take appropriate legal action against you if you do not cease posting and delete all previous posts about Mr. Beast, including Jimmy Donaldson and any person currently or formerly affiliated with Mr. Beast.
Okay, so they are talking about the company, it seems. Not Jimmy. Alright. Sorry, I need to sniff. What? That sounds wrong. But I won't be right back. He needs to what? Yeah, the AI is not working properly, so the machine learning part translating from Estonian to English has some bugs in it, so sometimes the things I say sound a little bit off.
They responded saying, feel free to ask me anything. Mentioning one part of the cease and desist saying the toy thing is a complete lie. I said, okay, sure, gotcha. In terms of these cease and desists, they obviously claim your reasons for being terminated from the company was this story with the one, ignoring the supervisor, and two, this toy. What is your understanding as to why you were let go?
That is very interesting. Now, are we going to get to the bottom of this? Why was Dogpack actually fired?
And Dogpack responded, after my first manager left, I honestly didn't even know who my new supervisor was, and I don't think the company did either. I was left unsupervised for like a week. Well, during that week, the toy was about a business expense request I sent to IT for an Apple Vision Pro.
So you did not even buy anything, you just sent a request to the IT. And the requests can be either approved or denied, so that seems...
I got berated for sending the request to IT. I literally said, quote, I wasn't trying to swindle the company for some toy.
Also, who cares? Because if the company does buy you the Apple Vision Pro, right? Then you just get to use that when you are working for the company. That does not mean you're going to keep it. So this is ridiculous. Because even if you did get Apple Vision Pro, then you can just use it for doing your work. It's basically, and when you have a home office, then it's basically like having a monitor or whatever, you know, a laptop. You have been there for 3 weeks. If you're so new to the company that you don't deserve the toys, then you just get declined, denied, and that's it. You move forward. Who cares, right? When I was an intern at a company, I requested a new laptop as well. And I was denied, and I got some shitty ThinkPad.
Is the situation with IT and the Apple Vision Pro plus the lack of supervisor what the cease and desist refers to as, quote, conduct even you have characterized as inappropriate? And if so, did you say anything of the like at the time? Dogpack responded, no idea, honestly. There's lots of inappropriate conduct from everyone at the company. I'm not a yes man, so I push back frequently.
Yeah, when you work at a big corporation, then people usually don't like when you have your own opinion about things. So when you try to speak up and push things back or try to change something, then most likely you're going to get fired for that. You're not going to be the right fit for the team. So usually it is wise to just, see how the company feels like, how it is. If you like working there without trying to push anything back or changing anything, then it seems that it might be a good place to work at. And then maybe later down the line you can make some changes when you're no longer in the probation zone. But yeah, from what I've learned, it's not worth trying to change anything when you work in corporate. If you don't have a stake in it, then who cares, right? You're just there, you get the paycheck, and that's about it.
And then he sends me redacted proof, which one is a Reddit message from someone where the Reddit message says, hey mate, this is my throwaway Reddit account, but I run the ideas team at Mr. Beast. Shoot me a text at blank so we can find a time to chat. If other people have pretended to work for Beast DM'd you, I'm happy to provide proof if needed. And then he attaches another image which seemed to be text messages where it starts off with Dogpack saying, it's up, where's this NDA at? I'm itching to know what you're cooking up over there.
Okay. That's some weird proof, or like a weird way to handle any kind of business. Someone just gonna like DM you in like using a Reddit throwaway account. What? So here's the takeaway. Everything should go via email. Not some shady shit emails, proper emails. And when you have some issues, you should like leave a mark, always leave a mark from regarding any action, because that's the only way you can prove stuff. When you have like Facebook messages and like Discord DMs and Reddit chats or shit like that, no one's gonna believe that. Like, this is so easily fakeable. If someone wanted to recruit me or Reddit DMs, I assume I'm going to end up dead in a ditch by the year or the week. Big red flags. Exactly. When someone, like, I would assume it's a scam, especially, oh, this is my throwaway Reddit account. What the shit?
So there's this section from your original video where you claim you worked until May with a correction to June. A more accurate description would be what you described above, yes? And he responded to this saying, yeah, that video is just based on pay stub receipts. On the books, I was employed, and they told me I could say I was employed for the full period of my contract, but I left April 19th and I started working remote for Jimmy's friend. And so then I asked Dogpack.
Interesting, but that's not a big deal. This is like
About the 1 hour call where he was allegedly let off. So I said, is there truly a 1 hour call as they claim where you pleaded for your job back after being fired? And if so, why? He responded, I didn't know they recorded that meeting, but yeah, I was at a low point. I did not want to get fired. I worked hard to get there and felt like I was being fired for BS.
Yeah, that's what I just said before as well. Exactly, basically just a reaction to that, because no one wants to lose a job. Many reasons why you don't want to lose a job. So that 100% makes sense. But it's weird they recorded that. But yeah, usually you should assume that all meetings are recorded. All phone calls may be recorded as well. And I don't know, maybe in the States they don't have to tell you. Here, I don't know if they have to tell you either. I don't know. But you can't use it like publicly. That's all what I know. In the States it depends. Yeah, it depends. Recording phone calls and meeting depends on the company policy. And also you can't use it publicly anyways. They're just like there for like archive basically. Because like you can't use the recordings publicly if you don't tell the other person that you're recording the call. You need to inform people before you are recording calls. But in the US, it probably is so much different. Some is one-party consent, some is two-party consent. Yeah, like even like in Estonia, basically, when someone when you call a bank, then the AI is gonna say that this call is being recorded for, like, I don't know, for stats and shit like that, for training purposes, whatever. And that's it. Then you know you need basically to accept that.
Any honest proof of employment? And Dogpack responds, I showed my face with pay stubs on my Twitter, and use Impact 6793 says, is there a reference to the later disclosed with the beginning kindergarten? In the video you mentioned employment from February to May, but posted says March to May. Just curious why the difference. And Dogpack responds, I was working a bit with them in February, trial period in March, and then 90-day contract from April 1st to end of June.
I think this expose of Dogpack regarding this, when did he start, when did they finish, is like the smallest, most minor shit ever. Because like he said he started like working like basically without contract, it kind of seems, in February. Then he got his contract in March. That's fine. The contract started then, and he worked there for 3 weeks. Then he was basically let go, and the contract itself was from until June. I didn't see, or I think I missed the point, like I don't remember if he was allowed to say that he worked there for the whole 90 days or not. I think he was, that's what I understood. Maybe I misunderstood. So yeah, basically when you have this kind of settlement or like agreement, then you can say that you were working like the whole period of time. So that's all about negotiation. So basically the idea of that is so you can have like on your LinkedIn that you worked there for like 3 months or like a year or whatever. And that the reason why you can do that is so that the company knows that the LinkedIn information is proper. And when someone asks about that, then you can also say that. And when they call the company, it's like, yeah, okay, it's all legit, right? So it's not like fake information, even if you technically didn't work there. That's really not the case or like the issue here. So I don't know. This has been like 17 minutes now, and we're here basically just trying to understand how long he worked there for. Like, who cares about that? That's like the most minor shit. I want to see some real expose. Tell me, give me some valid proof that Dogpack is full of shit. This is not it.
Then Cope and Seeth references the part about why Dogpack got fired, and they
Obviously, you can use it when there's like a crime or shit like that going on. But I think you may have the risk that you can get sued for using it. But you can, like, when it's evidence for a crime, then you can still use it for that, I think. I mean, that also makes sense too.
It's actually so fucked how bad that new Dogpack video is. I'm addicted to watching people react to it, so I know who's full of shit.
I don't know what was so bad about the new Dogpack video. I think it was it slapped pretty good. It wasn't that good as the first one, but it wasn't too bad. It wasn't like as juicy, if you know what I mean. But I think there's so many people who are just signing on Mr. Beast because I don't know why. Yo, that slaps. What is this shit? Bro, what happened to Mr. Beast? I like this Windows 95 aesthetics. Even though this wallpaper is more like Windows XP, but this is like this Windows 98 actually. I like it. Dope.
Today, we're gonna be begging for a job in the Mr. Beast subreddit. Today,
So this guy has been making those FBI walls or those like brainstorm walls for forever. This is pretty dope. I think it's just so funny. Like, this guy is like a professional in making those kinds of like full of evidence kind of like mind maps. I don't know how to call them. He used to like Mr. Beast. He worked there. It was shit. I mean, that's like, who cares?
I wanted to do a video showing my process of coming up with ideas. This is sort of to show the Mr. Beast team how I operate, but also I think this could be a good resource for other people trying to do YouTube. Which, by the way, someone from Mr. Beast did DM me, and I did send him the $1,000, so something should be happening pretty soon.
Lol, I hope that's a joke.
How I approach problems, systems framework, thinking from first principles, feedback and iteration, and just how these concepts apply to YouTube and coming up with ideas. For me, when I'm tasked with solving a problem, I spend how these...
Yo, what is this? Maybe I should take notes. Title. 28 characters is the ideal one. Alright, so from now on my sheet is gonna be 28 characters. 1 versus soak. Okay, it has everything. Cool shit, okay. Thumbnail. Gold. It needs the face, the gold. Alright, this guy knows what's up. Maybe I should take notes.
Anyway, the same way an organism or a car is made up of smaller components, so is a YouTube video.
Yo, what is this? Video plot. The intro should be 1 minute. Okay, the setup, the obstacle. Shit, I'm doing everything wrong. So, my editor. You have to watch this. And soon you can make shit out of my videos that are gonna be exactly like this. Yes, the wise croaker, the shtick, the goofball. All right, we need the Rangers as well. The Power Rangers need to assemble. So we need some characters in my videos from now on. Cool. Right, so from now on, my videos are gonna get so much better. Right?
And since there's no lexicon for the anatomy of a video, I'll just refer to all subsystems as components to keep it simple. So every video exists as a hierarchy of components that evolve to have better environmental fit.
Oh, this is interesting. The character archetypes. Commander laugh track. So Jimmy's the goofball, the funny guy. Oh, no, okay, he's not the goofball. He's the funny guy. Chris used to be the wisecracker, makes fun of others and finds humor in any given situation. So, like a douchebag. Alright, we got it. That did not age very well. The stick. What is this? The sticker rules. Okay, so basically what is Ludwig doing here? Well, I don't care about him too much either. I haven't watched his content, never. But I didn't know he's actually has anything to do with Mr. Beast. So that's cool. The dork. Goofball is Chandler. Alright, silly comedically contrast with the skewer or stick. Well, and nowadays we don't have any Chandler doing anything with Mr. Beast, really. I haven't seen him in any videos, actually, lately. is what I mean. Retention hack. Okay, so how do we get retention? You talk about money. Okay. Immediate progress. Right. Okay. Exponential growth. High expectations. Paywall. Establishing shot. Comedy through contrast. Night and day. Shit, I should start doing that. Foreground. Midground. Background. So we need this shit. So when I'm gonna make thumbnails now, I'm gonna be following all this, right? That's how we're gonna do that.
Fitness, for example, a thumbnail evolving to have better CTR or AVD.
To be honest, I despise those MrBeast thumbnails. Because every time his face is fully photoshopped and in a goofy way. So it looks so weird. You know what I mean? It's for kids. It works, but it looks bad. Yeah, it's just like exaggerated and in a bad way. It's just so cringe. It's so bad to watch. Like every time I see his thumbnails, I cringe.
Now with content, if you try to
Look at this, he looks like paralyzed. Or like this is some old 90s game like photo avatar kind of screenshot picture, whatever. Like Mike the Magic 6 had this shit. And like he's paralyzed. It's like two different pictures. The eyes and the mouth, two different things. Doesn't even look like Jimmy. Yeah, it's so messed up.
Also, the more components you change, the wider the variation in success is. So if a system of components is very successful, then you...
What is this? Is that like who copied who? Russia MrBeast?
And generally, the closer you are to an optimal system, the less components you want to change, which is why the design of a spoon hasn't changed in 100 years, or why every iPhone seems like a smaller iteration of the previous iPhone. And of course, not all components, like not all genes, are created.
I like this shit, like this mind map, this whole everything. It's crazy good. I like this. Also, I missed this part. The Russia MrBeast. What's going on? Who copied who? That's what I want to know.
If you only focus on optimizing for viewer satisfaction, you end up making digital opium, essentially. I think this is incredibly important.
I think that's actually a good point, because when you are only going to do everything you can to just please the audience without like to make a perfect video, essentially, it sounds good on paper, but that's basically what AI is doing. So when you have AI do something, they try to make everything like perfectly as they can, and because it's like the most appropriate data. And I think that's why we don't really like the AI created stuff, because it's too perfect. But you know, AI is a whole other different beast, but eventually I think AI may have very, very huge impact on the content creation in the as well. And but maybe not, because we like those errors. We like this personalization of the content creators and what we watch, and those little mishaps, and this kind of like some chaos in all the shit that we do watch and see and do. If it's too perfect, then it gets very boring very fast. There's no predictability, or like there's no unpredictable factors, is what I mean. So it's always, you know, you always get what you are supposed to get. You know, there's nothing wrong with any of the content. I don't know. I don't think I made too much sense. But basically, what I mean is, the reason people like to listen to live music is because it's more raw. They are prone to errors and stuff like that. So when you listen to your favorite music, you don't always listen to the studio record, which is essentially perfect. You listen to the live versions as well, because they are not that perfect. They are a little bit different, and there's more like chaos in it as well. And that's why you go see live concert as well, because, well, first of all, you want to support and see the band in live. But the second thing is, you know, it's not gonna be that perfect. It's gonna be awesome, but it's not like this studio record perfect. Because if you will go to a concert, and you know, there's been many situations where the artist is gonna lip sync and everyone gets mad. Why? It's perfect, right? But you don't want that. You want authentic stuff. And soon AI is gonna make super high quality videos, super high quality content with high quality like voice acting, the content, everything like that. But there's no errors in it. And I don't know if that's what we want or not. That's something time will tell. Because even now there are many AI streams and YouTube channels that have massive followings. So there are basically so many AI streams that people are watching, and they have lots of viewers. They have like 50, 100, even like 5,000 viewers, even more, so on. It's crazy shit. You're AI? Yes. That's why you're here.
Iteration and feedback, which are the two fundamental steps in any evolutionary loop. A system can evolve faster in two ways. One is by accelerating the iteration loop itself. For example, brine shrimp can evolve faster than blue whales because they have shorter generations and they produce more offspring. Or two,
this guy is like really into this evolutionary theory. Like, he's pretty smart, it seems. Like, he has done so much research. Guy has been studying this a lot. I don't know why, but he seems to be super interested in that, and mixing all this marketing stuff with this as well. I think that's pretty genius.
So the more you understand, the faster you can improve, which is obvious, but hopefully this demonstration shows just how powerful knowledge is.
Knowledge is power. Dogpack really giving some insights how shit works. That's very, very cool.
Click-through rate and retention, so we can look at those. So this example, just looking at the data, which of these two thumbnails is better? It's a trick question because in this one, Jimmy has his willy out. So, this demonstrates the issue with measuring.
Well, okay. I see. I understand.
When you hear this description, what are your expectations?
This is a $215 million private island. Literally anything you could ever want is on this private island.
You may imagine a biblically accurate heavenly oasis based on what was described, but what if I told you this was the actual island?
Tell me that's not CGI.
Maybe not as cool as you expected, but it has a giant solid gold roller coaster, Ferris wheel, a city, and even a circus tent. Well, that's not the real island either. This is.
No.
I would call this watch baiting. Similar to clickbait, it's a way of using deception to exploit flaws in the YouTube algorithm. Now, there are arguments in favor of deceiving the viewer into a more enjoyable experience. With food, for example, this makes your mouth water, and when you get this, you're too busy focusing on the taste to really care about the discrepancy in appearance.
Except the taste isn't anything good either. But I guess that makes sense because this is what you want, that's what you order. When this thing arrives, then you're just like, alright, whatever. I didn't expect anything else anyway, so I'm just gonna go for it, as long as you get full,
So for the purpose of optimization, you need control and predictability. But it's not easy to transition from authentic, unscripted content to a fully controllable system. I think this transition problem was apparent with Train versus Pit. Now I get it, you're Jimmy. You walk into the editing room, see this, and think, dang, we should have had train tracks going down the pit. You try to add them in post, but as a viewer, you notice the train tracks look a little off, and you start...
So basically, already in this video, he calls out the CGI.
Marketing skeptical. Next you notice the spinning bus wheels look fake, the pit looks fake, is that guy fake? It just makes everything feel
That's funny. Even back in the day, he already called the shit out.
Fake, when the whole point of the video is that you're doing real experiments. So there was some public backlash against the CGI.
That CGI was so bad, it's just like...
So in terms of defining YouTube success, I do consider short-term metrics, but I prioritize viewer satisfaction and long-term reputation, which comes from being honest and trying to genuinely benefit humans.
Yeah, that makes sense. There's nothing to even comment or react to that. I mean, it's just 100% makes sense.
I'm sure you've seen these videos. They typically combine mental play in the form of trivia usually with some type of physical play, where these types of play are sort of interwoven together, similar to like an A plot and B plot in traditional media. There's also a natural rise in tension over time. I also like the framing, how well the two people fit into the 16:9 aspect ratio. There are many components I would like to change or add. So the first frame and hook should be much more captivating. Typically with these videos, the climax isn't very rewarding, with one contestant just kind of giving up. No moment of like shock, prize, or celebration.
Very interesting, like getting this information or like getting this those comments from someone who knows how this shit works and analyzing how and why those videos work and why they don't work or what can be done to improve.
Just bring the challenge to a college campus and watch people flock to try different ways to solve the problem. So here's
This guy had some good ideas, some crazy ideas. Interesting, like he really has dived into this shit, like to extreme level, I will say. This is crazy, like the preparation work for all that, all those mind maps, like said before, like this, that, well, that's a mind map here, and all those like crafts and ideas and idea boards. This is crazy shit, and this what he says is very cool. And well, I would say that he should. I don't know what he does for work, but he should do this shit. He knows what to do. I should hire him.
Copenseeth continues saying, however, Jimmy was not Dogpack's first love. It seems that he also did this with the XQC subreddit, until he felt ignored, became annoying, and was told to f*** off.
It was a strat, and he did actually. Well, that also shows how toxic Reddit is overall. In the end of the day, it actually did work, because he had something to bring on the table. And well, it didn't work out with XQC, it did work out with Mr. Beast, even when it didn't last for a very long time. Subreddits are like so toxic, it's so cringe, so crazy.
To be clear, because some people can't tell I'm joking, I've never been an user. We make changes. I tried my research for depression and anxiety for a week over 3 months ago. Honestly, the taste just made me sick, so I stopped. With Brendon, aimlessly listed drugs, but I consider myself an advocate for psychedelic research. Don't truly dare to feel very unsafe for lawyers and PR people, because sometimes I say dumb shit. But my video was well researched. I'd obviously rather Mr. Beast just focus on spreading evidence than trying to popularly destroy my character with baseless drug use and mental health accusations. But it appears that's the only option they have. Also, I literally smoked 500 cigarettes before writing this.
Yeah, literally. Imagine, like, just imagine smoking 500 cigarettes, though. How many packs is that? That's like 25 packs of 6. Yeah. Yummy. What the?
My girlfriend was cuddling me at the time and said my eyes opened and my fingertips started to go cold. But I still had a heartbeat, so she wasn't too worried.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's reassuring. So, as long as the beat is there, it's all good, all good. Shit, this is so bad. Well, that's what happens when people around you don't know anything about like medicine. Crazy shit.
1. YouTubers are financially incentivized to promote consumerism to their young audiences because advertisers are willing to pay more attention.
Yep.
And 2. Multiple MrBeast employees, including real Christians, suggested to me that MrBeast may be under the control of Satan.
Interesting. Well, I would rule that out.
And someone asked him if he can expand on point 2, and he did by saying, I'm not Christian, but something about the book of Revelation. Jimmy bought a church and converted it to a studio, literally removing imagery of Jesus and replacing it with the mark of the beast.
Can you buy churches? Who goes and buys a church and makes it into a studio, though? Who does that? This is like just messed up. I couldn't imagine myself buying a church and building it into a studio. Like, why? It's not even that good to build a studio in because of the shape of the building and the tall roof and shit like that. I don't know. It's gonna be very echoey and not really good for that. You shouldn't be able to buy churches. They should be under historic protection or something. Yeah, I that's what I was thinking.
Didn't see anybody talking about this, so Bailey worked for Mr. Beast. He was an editor for Mr. Beast, won $10,000, and also won a freaking house.
Good for him. Imagine you can win a house, 10k, just if you're an editor for Mr. Beast. Many of the points that were made by Dogpack, he basically, with this research, actually approves because he digs up some old shit that actually prove the points made by Dogpack.
And then there is another post with the title, How much would it cost if Mr. Beast did fake all his videos? Where that 5-head guy responds, depends what you consider fake. Scripting and misleading editing are pretty standard at this point.
Yeah, this is so obvious. I wish my boss would give me a chance to win a house.
Personally, I think it's stupid to fake things as much as he does.
And those are like very, very old points. That's like 6 months ago. But I don't know from what point or what time.
Set up like the regular US lottery where there are weekly drawings, but instead of the government's taking a part of the money, Mr. Beast uses it to fund things while also allowing winners. Saw a TikTok saying someone should do this, and Mr. Beast is the only one who could pull this kind of thing off.
So basically a tax fraud.
It shouldn't be possible for a consumer to buy into sweepstakes without ever seeing a no purchase necessary clause. That's just a lottery. If you ever see a sweepstakes advertised on TV, you'll always see the clause on screen. So
yeah, they always have this little dot, like a star, basically saying in those small letters what it's all about.
social media should be no different.
That's true.
This is something Jimmy has gotten in trouble with in the past.
I mean, that makes 100% sense. Like many things that Mr. Beast has been doing and is doing is pretty stupid. And it's cool that it was called out, but still nothing has happened. It's kind of weird.
Why did you decide to work for Mr. Beast if, based on your Reddit history, you already had most, if not all, of your concerns raised before you started working for them?
I mean, that is actually a very good question. I wonder what the answer to that is gonna be, but sometimes you may have some critique about something, and when you get the opportunity to do it or like fix it or change something, then you are gonna take it anyways. I think that's about that. That's what it is. So maybe you have this like optimism that, hey, now I have the chance to work there, so now I can make everything better. So they have this thing, like you're like a big fan of this. So let's say I'm a big fan of Mr. Beast, and I'm like, okay, so that's bad, and this is bad, and that's bad as well. But hey, now they gave me a job offer, so hey, I'm gonna raise those flags, and then they're gonna make it better, and then they're gonna be even more successful, and then I'm gonna be like a top tier employee as well, and I fix the videos and make it better, and they get lots of money, and it's all good. I think that might be the reasoning.
There certainly were things I openly criticized, but there were also a lot of things I openly praised, like the philanthropy. I thought it was an overall good company with some
exactly
problems.
what I said.
I tried to solve those problems internally, but obviously that didn't work out. Also, I heard of the more serious problems after I was hired, like the Ava/SA stuff. I definitely felt that the company was heading towards an iceberg, but the captains of the ship weren't listening to anybody.
So that's exactly what I said. Just the hope that you can fix it from the inside. And obviously no one actually knew the Ava situation and the SA situation until it was now pointed out and called out for.
He then continues in my DMs saying, "It makes me cringe how much I used to like Mr. Beast."
I mean, that's pretty normal. Like when you are super hyped or like excited to work somewhere and do something, especially when you're like younger. Well, I don't know how old Dogpack is, but you know, when I was younger, then I was also like hoping that I can work for Blizzard someday, and that's why I studied game development. And I was like, oh shit, Blizzard Entertainment, best company in the world, you know? So cool, so nice, so good. All this shit, best games ever. I want to work on that stuff. I mean, obviously a little bit unrealistic because you can only work there locally when you're in the States. And the chances for me to ever be in the States were quite slim to begin with. But you know, who cares, you know? I could basically buy a ticket and go work there, right? I also hoped, like, I also liked, like, Blizzard Entertainment and wanted to work there. And then every year something happened, something crazy happened. From the people drinking the breast milk there, to having some, like, frat parties and all this kind of shit. And, you know, when you look the history of Blizzard Entertainment, Activision Blizzard Entertainment, then you can see there's so much shit going on, just like Mr. Beast Company. And well, obviously Blizzard is still standing. It's now obtained by Microsoft. Actually, the drama didn't do too much to the brand. And there were so many people who said they're never going to play World of Warcraft. They are never going to play or buy any Blizzard game. And then just like a year or two later, they hopped back in. So, while I despise the decisions made and this drama that had happened regarding Blizzard games, I never said I'm not gonna play Blizzard games. In fact, I am playing most of Blizzard games even now, because I'm playing World of Warcraft, I played the new Call of Duty game, all that kind of shit, but it's like, I still know the company's rotten, but Well, now it's not even Blizzard anymore. It's part of Microsoft, so technically. But you know what the point is. So I think that's gonna happen with Mr. Beast as well. So people are just gonna forget about all this drama and it's just gonna move on. Even though with Mr. Beast it's a little more complicated because Blizzard Entertainment or Activision Blizzard is like a huge corporation that doesn't have like a face to it. Then Mr. Beast company has a face to it, and it's Jimmy. So that's the major difference, I will say. Right now, I think Mr. Beast has a good chance of surviving this shit, but I don't know what's gonna happen. But right now, he's gaining more subscribers than ever.
Waste generated by Mr. Beast. On the Mr. Beast subreddit, where he continues, I get it, there's always some resource cost for entertainment. Mr. Beast is one of the few entertainment companies that actually offsets their negative impacts with positive ones, philanthropy. And then he attaches an image to a Dogpack404 tweet, which some of it's cut out, so I'm just going to read the entire thing for you guys.
It's pretty funny that when he did uncover that situation with the Team C's and all that, like, the company was shady and not the company wasn't that shady, but the Coca-Cola thing and also him leaving lots of pollution in the set and the waste, that's shady.
This is a drastic oversimplification that it doesn't factor in the money, time, efforts, and carbon costs associated with raising the money and removing the trash. Also, where did the trash go? Landfills, where over time it will break down into microplastics that blow back into the ocean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Team C's was frequently advertised as a way to save the ocean, but in all of Team C's marketing material, they never once addressed how corporations and governments contribute to the issue. And then here is another clip that he attaches.
Why should the internet care about Team C's?
Well, I mean, if you care about the ocean, you should care about Team C's.
No, that's a pretty easy answer to that question.
Saving the oceans in two ways.
You help us save the ocean. I'm trying to...
We're giving us money, or what happens here? Donations? Pounds? Wait, where's the money going?
This video uploaded by Team C's 3 weeks ago continues to push the false narrative through intentionally vague claims. Team C's is proof that when a huge amount of people get together to help make things better on this planet, big things can happen. No, at Mark Rober, Team C's proved the exact opposite. It proved that even when there was a Herculean efforts to reduce plastic pollution, even when all of the largest influencers on the internet rallied their audience towards a cleanup solution, it did not make any positive difference.
Oh, I mean, that's pretty bad, right? I remember when Team C's and all that stuff was like very popular. I think there were many streamers who were actually like promoting this. It's kind of sad to see that it didn't have too much positive effect. But it also makes sense because even if you ask for donations, well, first of all, with donations and companies like that who manage this kind of money, you never know where your money actually goes to. And the second thing is, it's easy to help with money, if you know what I mean. When you were looking at those tags here, like a pop-up message. Okay, so this guy helped to clean 100 pounds of waste by like donating probably like $10 or so, right? And well, it is nice that you support something. You actually don't clean up 100 pounds of waste, right? Just because you send like $10. Someone else has to do that. So the whole idea of that, it's very short-sighted because you can pay money and okay, support some cause, but we still need the manpower to actually make the difference, right? So if I will like throw $10 somewhere and okay, some waste is gonna be cleaned out and then I'm gonna continue consuming the same way, then I'm actually not helping. You know, it's the mindset that needs to change, which is very, very difficult to do. And one thing is the mindset of the people overall, but the second thing, like was just said here, is the impact of the companies, because there are so many companies that are producing so much waste, and you can clean up, but if you don't help fight the source of the problem, then it's actually not very helpful. And this is the proof of that, because when you still have all those massive companies like producing so much waste constantly, then nothing is gonna happen. This is basically what can be listed under the greenwashing again, like electric cars and shit like that, like Uber, you know, sharing the rides and shit like that. Basically, one thing that Uber, I think, has also said, I don't know if Uber, but this whole idea of ride sharing is that, hey, we are saving the environment because people are not buying cars no more. They don't need cars because we can just share rides and all that. But what they don't tell you is that actually the consumption is increased, the pollution is actually increased, not reduced, because the use of public transport is going to be reduced by that. Because if you didn't have that many taxi services, because taxis used to be very expensive, at least here, and now you can get like this ride sharing, like this Uber, basically, this taxi for much cheaper. So now instead of waiting for a bus that is better for the whole environment, because more people are riding the bus compared to cars, right? They promote using Uber and all this shit, and this is having more cars in the city, more traffic, more use of cars, and this whole bio and eco stuff is actually lies. You know what I mean? I don't know if I made any sense, but that's what it is. So you're encouraging using cars. Even if you're not the one driving it, you still encourage the use of taxi services, meaning there are more small cars that drive around the city all the time, more pollution, all that. Back then, without this ride sharing, there were taxis. Taxis were expensive. So instead of using taxi, use public transport because that's cheaper. And in Estonia, it's also free in the capital city if you're a registered citizen. It's greenwashing. It seems good on paper. It makes sense. Oh yeah, okay, you don't need a car. Okay, but you're like the pollution actually is not being fixed. So with all this, all those kinds of charity works or like trying to improve the world, you need to tackle the main source, the root of the problem, not just try to fix the result, basically. Obviously, you need to do something about that as well, but it's not going to solve the issue. It helps, but it doesn't solve the issue.
Team C's is proof that when a huge amount of people get together to help make things better on this planet, big things can happen.
Shut up, bitch!
Mr. Beast and Mark Rober also went to promote single-use plastic garbage. This video by Stay Honest goes more into depth on this. Mark, I like that your content promotes STEM to kids. You seem like a nice guy, but come on. You should know firsthand that cleanup efforts like Team C's are useless. And this problem is only solvable through regulatory action, like banning unnecessary single-use plastics. And then he attaches this image and this image here, showing NFTs for Team C's. And then Dogpack continues, so why did Team C's never mention corporate pollution or push for a ban on unnecessary single-use plastics, and instead push the narrative that this problem is solvable by people and cleanup efforts?
Yeah, this is the thing, you know, the single-use, the packaging, all that. This is wild because we are restricted everywhere. Like the people are restricted from consuming, and like we are like the citizens, we are the bad guys in this situation, but we can't actually do much about that. It's on the government level that this can be fixed, because like I think I already mentioned that someday or like sometime that for example, there are many products, even like especially here in Estonia, for example, when let's say you have like the cartridge for like butter or something like that, you only have like a small size, but maybe I need like a large size. But I need to buy many small ones in order to get what I need. So let's say, what would be a good example? Let's say like milk. There's some bio, like eco kind of like milk. And that stuff is only in like 1 liter cartridges. Also like maybe some juices like apple juice or something like that. There are alternatives, but many brands offer only like 1 liter. And that's about it. And now maybe I'm like a heavy apple juice drinker, and I want like, I know that 2 liters is gonna last me like 2 days because I'm that heavy apple juice drinker. So I need to buy 2 bottles instead of having 1. And there's so much more research that are going to be wasted to print, package, and do all this work for like 2 bottles compared to 1, right? So there's so much stuff that on corporation level is messed up, and that's why we can't actually save the earth and all that.
Anyway, this was kind of an unstructured rant, probably full of spelling mistakes. I wrote this high, but I wanted to address how Team C's was a complete joke, explain the scale of plastic pollution and why it's such a big issue, and offer a potential solution. Also, yeah, part 2 is going in a different direction. When it comes out, MrBeast is 100% done.
Well, I think he's not 100% done, sadly. We can't change the government, but we can change ourselves. Words. Based and real.
And then he quotes his comment saying, "The challenge basically induces Stockholm Syndrome where you're forced to be with a person in a mentally exhausting environment. Would be easy for one contestant to take advantage of the other. Essentially, you have to date me or I'll leave and you'll lose $250,000.
I don't know what video he is referring to, but that sounds like a MrBeast video. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, the MrBeast brand had an incredible reputation for authenticity that they completely threw out the window in pursuit of make the best videos possible by using scripts and manipulative editing. Personally, I wish they wouldn't fake things. It worked in the Squid Game video because the CGI was only aesthetic and MrBeast was transparent about the use of it. Now you can't trust anything you see as real."
That's also true.
This was on December 21st, 2023, by the way.
You really can't, especially now after all those Dogpack videos. I mean, kids are still gonna watch that shit and gonna be amazed with it, and they don't even care. It doesn't matter from the start if it has any CGI or not. It's just he said they don't use CGI, and that's why it was bad.
Finally, here is Dogpack making claims towards MrBeast over several other things with no evidence, including tax evasion and promoting Prism on Reddit while arguing with a random. Prism being this guy who originally exposed and blew up the whole Chris Tyson story. Then he attaches an image of a Reddit thread where it starts off with Artistic Risk saying, "Do you believe the only element of corruption is the intention to make their videos addictive?" And Dogpack responds, "Not even close. I think MrBeast could be investigated by the IRS, FTC, SEC, FBI, and OSHA, and each organization would find its own unique case of corruption."
I mean that's what they should do, right? Because I think MrBeast has had some problems with taxes and all that kind of stuff before. So I don't know why they are not investigating this stuff, because MrBeast is so large, so huge, and the tax revenue that comes from him as well, like the company is making so much money. So I don't know why the IRS and the FTC and the SEC, FBI and OSHA are not like investigating this shit. Maybe they don't have a reason. I don't know. I don't know how the states work. So.
And Dogpack says tax evasion, illegal lotteries, fraud, crypto scams, inappropriately interacting with children, horrible safety compliance, just overall terrible production practices, etc. Hard to explain everything broadly. It's the largest game show in the world, and they don't follow the regulations that traditional game shows have to follow.
I mean, that's a start, right? That's a pretty big start.
Okay, cool, I can understand why they fired you, to be honest. Failure to understand basic instructions. But have any actual proof that you did work for him? And Dogpack responds, "You have poor reading comprehension and are defending someone who bought and distributed S illustrations of minors, as well as sent S suggestive messages and Snapchats to a minor. I think I'm good on sending you any of my info, bro." And
crazy, like those MrBeast defenders and also the other team member defenders, that's some crazy shit.
oh cool, a new claim. Is this pulled out of your ass like you working for MrBeast, or is there actual screenshots of this? And then MrBeast shows the video by Prism, and then Plop responds, "Oh, I saw a bit of this. It's the video of the one transphobe who touched grass." Yeah, this dude does not seem trustworthy at all, to be honest. Man, it's so weird that all this information seems to be coming from transphobic people. Wonder why. And that is the entire thread, so thank you guys for listening.
Well, that was fast. The ending was very abrupt. Damn, well, interesting. But to be honest, 1 hour and there weren't any big claims that will prove that Dogpack is like a fake, or it's like bullshitting this whole situation. The secrets of MrBeast's biggest critic. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Take care, y'all.